All right, so let's talk about how to use an automated NPS campaign to explode your referrals. So let's talk about what the problem is first, and then we'll talk about how this solves it. So I want you to do this exercise with me and type in the chat box how many clients you are actively serving, whether it's households, whether it's clients, whether it's customers, whether it's patients, however you label it in your business. Okay, so Steve Brady says 150 clients. Awesome. Noah says 25. Scott Leifer says 120. Awesome. Emma says 40. Awesome. Thank you for playing, Emma. Joe says 2. I'm going to pull up our number since Emma answered. We're going to say 92 for us. And Dylan says 20 to 100 question mark. Emma says, whoops. Yes, that was a typo. 42 seemed low to me. And it depends on which company you're asking us about. So we'll say 92 on the marketing side, not the financial services side. All right. So next, I want you to type in the chat box, how many referrals did you get last month? How many referrals came in last month? Noah says 0. Okay, that's okay. Scott Leifer says 2. Joe says 0. Dylan says 3. All right. So here's the exercise you're going to do. Divide the number of referrals by the number of clients. That is your referral rate. So for example, Steve Brady got 2 out of 150. So if I do that math real quick, 2 divided by 150, I get a referral rate of 1.3%. Type in your referral rate in the chat box. So Dylan says he got 3. If he got 100 referrals, he's 3 by 100. He's got a 3% referral rate. If he got 20, he got more like 15%. So narrowing that down in terms of Dylan, whether you serve 20 people or 100 people is important. Scott Leifer says 1.6%. Obviously, if you got 0 referrals, then your referral rate is 0%. So we're going to use Scott because he got some referrals. So we're going to say 1.6% is Scott's referral rate. Here's what I want you to do next. If you got a 0, it doesn't matter. Flip the number upside down. So if I do 100 minus Scott's referral rate of 1.6%, that means 98.4% of his clients are not referring. That's scary, right? If Dylan had a 3% referral rate, 97% aren't referring. If Brady is 2 divided by 150, 99.7 or 98.7, it's a radio station, 98.7% aren't referring. That's really scary, especially when you think about before COVID, I'd be on a plane and probably speak at a conference, a marketing or social media or financial services conference almost every month. And I say on a regular basis, in every speech I give, I would do this exercise. But before I would do the exercise, I would say, just shout it out. What's the number one? What are some of your best performing marketing strategies? What's working the best to bring new business in the door? And at least in a financial services conference, every single advisor said referrals, referrals, referrals. Every chiropractor at most professional practices say, oh, we get a lot of our business via referral. I say, great. And then I do this exercise with them and they go, oh my God, I am not getting a lot of business via referral. And the majority of my clients are not referring at all. So as Scott says, that's ridiculous. Let's change that. Absolutely. That's what we're here to talk about today. And I know we blocked off originally, we normally block off 3 hours every month for this virtual mastermind meetup group. Today, there are times we go the whole 3 hours. Today's not going to take that long. We may be done, in an hour, just depending on that. It isn't going to take that long. So we'll see. You'll be out early today. You can go enjoy your Friday. But now that we know the problem, right? Our clients aren't referring anywhere near the level we think we should. So how do we solve that? NPS stands for Net Promoter Score. If you don't know what Net Promoter Score is, it's really important that you're here. If you do know what Net Promoter Score, it may be even more important that you are actively here. So Net Promoter Score measures your customer experience and predicts your business growth. This metric has transformed the business world when it was created. It is a widely used market research metric that takes the form of one single survey question. It isn't a 17-part form. It's one question. asking your customers, clients, or patients, what is the likelihood that they would recommend you to a friend, family member, or colleague? One question. So you can learn more at netpromoter.com. Those folks are the originators of the Net Promoter Score survey. And it's literally on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you would recommend us to a friend or a colleague? Now, based on the answers you get, your clients or patients get divided into 3 buckets. Number 1, a detractor. These are people who give you a score from 0 to 6. They are unhappy and they could damage your brand through negative word of mouth. Because think about it. How many times have you gone to, let's say, a restaurant and you weren't happy and you didn't like the food, you didn't like the service? You told a lot more people than the time you went to the restaurant and it was good. It's just human nature, right? Bad news spreads fast. That's why, TV news, if it bleeds, it leads. It gets your attention more. It's just something we talk about more. Passives are people who are 7 to 8. They're satisfied, but they're unenthusiastic, which means they could be sucked away by your competition. 9 and 10 are the promoters. These are the people who love you, will keep buying from you, and will refer others, driving your growth and driving that referral number up. So this is what our automated Net Promoter Score campaign looks like. This is in our marketing automation software, which is Infusionsoft, now known as Keep, K-E-A-P. I'll show you what each one of these boxes means. We're going to break it down and show you how you can build one to explode your referrals, and I'll give you our actual results. So the very first thing we do is it starts off with an email to your customer or client or patient list. And we say, have we met or exceeded your expectations? We work hard to deliver high quality service or a product, and we want to make sure you're pleased. Please take a minute and share your thoughts. In our case, we're asking for feedback on the team member here who serves them. We take customer satisfaction seriously. Your opinion is important. Thank you in advance for any feedback you can provide. And oftentimes we will also include a video of me asking them for feedback. This is where they get sent. There's a video at the top of this page. It literally asks them for their name and email, so we know who is giving the score. In our case, we ask them who is their account rep or their podcast producer. We want to know who they're rating. And then it's based on your experience, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend? 0, not likely, 10, extremely likely. And then we added something to the Net Promoter Score campaign, which is we added a care to share any comments box. Because I don't just want the number, I also want to know why they feel the way they do. So if they give us a 10, I want them to tell us why they're so happy. If they give us a low score, I want to know what has upset them. Does that make sense? Give me a yes, that makes sense in the chat box. Okay, yes. Awesome, thank you. So first thing we got to do is we got to ask them for feedback. Rate us, give us a score 0 to 10. Then as soon as they fill out the form, they see a thank you page where we thank them for the feedback. No matter what it is, just thank you for the feedback, and we're going to be in touch to discuss things. Right? We want them to, and yes, that's a lousy thumbnail out of that video. Thank you for putting that out. Yes, I should change the thumbnail, but I want to thank them for the feedback right away, no matter what it is, whether they love us or whether they're mad. I want to know. And in all honesty, a lot of times we have turned our people with the clients who gave us the lowest score into our biggest evangelists because we cared enough to ask them what was wrong and find a way to fix it. And now they love us even more. So bad news isn't necessarily bad news. Complaints are an amazing opportunity to convert them into evangelists and make people happy. So once they answer the question and they see the thank you video, they go into one of 3 different follow-up sequences. Number 1, if they're a detractor, if they're unhappy. Number 2, if they're neutral and they're just lukewarm. And number 3, if they love us, and I'll break down each one of those. So this is how the notes work in Infusionsoft, where we are applying tags. We are taking them out of the give us feedback campaign and then putting us in a campaign for that specific type of feedback. So in this case, this is our detractor campaign. It immediately sends me an email and says, you've got someone who's not happy. And then it sends the client an email and it tells me to make a phone call. So they get an email that says, thanks for giving us feedback. We want everyone to have a great experience. Please let me know how we failed to meet your expectations. Reply to this email and let me know. I would love to fix it or make it right. So if they are unhappy, they get an email right away. I get an email letting me know that they're unhappy, and I get a note sent to me as well saying you need to call this person and find out what's going on. Does that make sense? Here, I'm gonna say, anybody have their camera on? No, I can't see them nodding up and down. All right, I'll just have to take your word for it. Now, if they are neutral, they get the same email, because in my mind, neutral is we failed. If they're just okay, that's not good to me. I don't want anybody to be just okay, because they are vulnerable to stopping our service. They are vulnerable to our competition. They are vulnerable to something else that they would pay for, even not related to our service, but some other marketing engine that they could buy. I want to do everything in my power to make everybody as happy as possible. It's not realistic. We're not going to be perfect. If you're serving, we had people when we did the referral exercise at the beginning, some of you are serving 100, Steve Brady's got 150 clients. It is not realistic to think, I had to learn this lesson the hard way, that 150 people are all going to be happy at the exact same time. There's always going to be somebody pissed off. Or there's someone unhappy that hasn't told you yet that you need to find out about so you can fix it before it becomes a problem. What is the name of the YouTube channel this session will be in? Could you enable live transcription? We will have this transcribed. If my Otter app didn't show up, then we will have it transcribed after the fact. And hang on, you want my YouTube channel? I should know. If you go search, name of my YouTube channel, duh, it's our podcast, Sharkpreneur. So it will be there, but you're going to need the link because they are unlisted videos. So if you registered for this and I've got your email, we will send it out, because some of you got here late and you missed the referral rate exercise at the beginning. It was really important. Now, let's pretend we got someone who was happy. Number one, we want to reward them and we want to hear their story. So if we got someone who is a promoter who gave us a high score, we immediately send them a thank you email and we ask them for a testimonial. I'll show you that in just a second. We then wait a week and then we ask them for referrals, and I'll show you how we do that as well. And then I'll share with you our results. So they get a thank you email. I'm super happy to hear you had a great experience. Would you care to share your success story? We'd love to hear what made you so satisfied. Just reply to this email and let me know. And there's also a button at the bottom, which you can't see because it got cut off, that takes them to the testimonial page. And then here a week later, it says, a week ago, you let us know we had a great experience. Thank you for the feedback. Who else do you know who might enjoy the same experience? Please click here and share their contact information with me. I will reach out to your friend with some information in one of the 9 books I've written, just as a gift to them for you introducing us. It takes them, yes, I need to fix the thumbnail on that video too, but these are working anyway. It takes them to a page where there is a video saying the same thing, and then they fill out a form that has their name and email, and then their referee's name, email, and phone number as well. Then they hit submit and they get a thank you page of thank you so much for the referral. And they also get a gift. We send our referral source a thank you email and a thank you gift via snail mail. And then the referee, the new prospect, gets an email saying, so if Courtney refers us to Scott, Courtney gets a thank you email, Courtney gets a thank you gift, Scott gets a, hey, Courtney introduced us and here's why email. And then Scott gets a gift in the snail mail. And then Scott goes into a new prospect, new referred prospect drip sequence that we then drip on Scott until, he either wants to talk to us, buys, or gets off our list. This is the thank you email for the referral. And We talk about ever since we opened our agency, our focus has been on marketing that helps grow your business. When our clients feel confident enough to give our name to others, it confirms that we're making a difference. If we have a chance to work with the person you referred, we want you to know they will be given the utmost care. We will help them just as we are helping you. It also says you can click to refer another friend and get even more points and prizes. So I'm going to put you all in breakouts for a couple minutes. Scott says, this is awesome, especially the audience I'm serving about health and wellness. Yes. So one of the things to talk about is birds of a feather flock together. Your clients all know other people with the same problem that they have that you are solving for them. So theoretically, if you are all business owners or sales professionals and you're here to learn marketing to grow your business, you know other business owners or sales professionals or financial advisors who also would want to grow their business. If Courtney serves chiropractors and help them grow their practice, well, every chiropractor has friends who are other friends who are chiropractors, right? Whether they went to chiropractic school, whether they met at a convention, whether they met at the association in their town or their city, all of Courtney's chiropractors know other chiropractors that they could refer him to. If Scott's dealing with, for example, has a product that helps mental health issues, Scott, if Roy is a prospect for Scott, if Roy is a customer of Scott's, Roy knows other people who might have the same issues that Roy had. I'm not picking on you, Roy, but theoretically, if Roy bought Scott's all-natural treatment for depression, Roy might know other people who are depressed, maybe just in general, maybe because statistically a large percentage of our population is depressed. Maybe it's because he went to a support group and met other people dealing with the same issue. Scott, that's a whole nother idea. We should really that gives me the idea that we should be marketing to support groups, but you get the idea. So here's what you're going to do in your breakout. You're going to talk about what is your referral rate. Obviously, if it's 0, that's a really short conversation. That part's a short conversation. And your referral rate, for those of you who got here late, is determined by taking the number of referrals you got last month and dividing that by the number of clients you served. So if you got 10 referrals and you served 100 clients, you have a referral rate of 10%, which means 90% of your clients did not refer last month. So you're going to go share your referral rates. You're going to talk to each other about how are you generating referrals now, because you're going to get ideas from each other. Now, if the only way in the door is I don't do anything to promote referrals, all that happens is someone randomly calls and says, I know of somebody for you. That's one strategy. That's passive referral generation. If you have anything designed to specifically drive referrals like the Net Promoter Score system, share it because we'll all benefit. And then 2 other questions. What is your client feedback system? How are you getting feedback from your clients? How are you finding out if they're happy? How are you finding out if they're doing a good job? I used to bury my head in the sand. I used to say, I'm just going to assume that everybody's happy until I find out otherwise. And then I don't know about any problems and I don't have to deal with them until it becomes so bad a problem they have to say something. Well, it temporarily reduced my stress level because I was blissful in my ignorance. But the problem was I didn't hear about problems until they got bad enough for someone to say something, and it was harder to solve. And then it was worse. It's much easier. It's a much better business model if you are soliciting feedback from your clients on a regular basis. I think we check in and ask our clients, if it's not every week, it's now like every 2 weeks. And funny, originally when I said we should be checking in with our clients on a regular basis, my staff pushed back a little bit and they were like, well, why don't we check in once every couple months? And they said, no, that means if you ask somebody how they're doing in January and you don't ask again until April, they got 3 months that they could be getting upset that we don't know about. I would rather solve the problem when it's small, when they just start to have, hey, I'm not sure if this is how this is supposed to be going. They don't even know if they should ask anything yet. I want to know so I can solve it then if they wait 4 months and then go, this is terrible, I want a refund. I don't want to wait that long. I had to change my mindset. I want to check in every week, every other week, relentlessly, to the point, and Emma can vouch for this, we get to the point where we have clients going, you don't have to check in with me that often. I'm good. I'm like, I know you're good. I want to make sure you're good. I want to make sure. Yes, Emma says we check in every 2 weeks until the client says they're annoyed. Yes, because this is also really important in financials. I used to, and I learned this lesson the hard way. Don't do what I did. I used to do our books once a month. Well, guess how many chances I have to find out if we're off track or not? Once every 30 days. So if I do it on the 30th of the month, well, there's a big gap from the 1st to the 30th, and I could have a cash flow problem and not know. So then I went from once a month to once a week. And then I went from once a week to 3 times a week. There are times if it's a payroll, we do payroll twice a month. If it's a payroll week, I check every single day. And then we do 3 times a week. Because when I didn't check for a month, what that meant was I didn't know if anybody's credit card declined. Someone's card could decline and I didn't know. So we just kept providing services, even though we weren't getting paid. I had to pay my staff, but I didn't have the money coming in. I found out if you check, I check Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And sometimes I can't help myself and I might look on the weekends, but most of the time it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because I want to know within 24 hours, did someone's credit card decline? We've had unauthorized charges on our bank account. I've had credit card fraud like 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years. I wouldn't have, if I had waited. One of the times a woman hacked my PayPal account, Claudette, whatever her name is, who my son actually helped track down in some third world country. And no, the IRS has not taken out 100,000 instead of 10,000. Thanks, Courtney. But I have had, like, there was one day, like that fraud, the PayPal hack, like she hit our PayPal account, which was tied to my bank account, like 12 times in the same day. I don't know how they don't know how she hacked it. She broke PayPal system. But literally there was a day when if I hadn't checked, like $6,000 was missing from our checking account. I was like, what the hell? Why do I have 12 transactions from PayPal? Had I not checked for a month, I would have been $6,000 short. Every dollar counts. So you want to check in with your clients as often as you can to find out if there are any problems before they become real problems. And the proactive communication, it's much more important to be proactive than reactive. It's much less emotionally stressful and much less emotional if you're asking for feedback than if you're only hearing it when it's too late. So you're going to go, I'm going to put you in breakouts. Remember, what's your referral rate? How are you generating referrals now if you were doing anything? What could you be doing to generate referrals? Do you have a client feedback system? What is it? And how can you use a net promoter score in your business? Do we have any questions before I put you in breakouts? You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Going once, questions going twice. Okay, I got to assign some people in some breakouts. Emma. All right, hang on. Courtney, Joe, Scott. Scott Lifer, you signed in twice. I'm assuming we don't need both of you.
Yeah, it's my camera's jacked up, Seth. So I just go on my phone and then so I can see it on the big screen.
So I'm assigning both of your devices to a breakout room.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, everybody.